Yeah, so my name's Kontrah, short for Contradiction. I'm a hip hop artist, writer, and director out of Baltimore, Maryland.
We see her in the club, spending money to get these bitches. Me and my niggas walk in, and we don't spend no money on these hoes.
These niggas throwing money just to see some puss. Buying bitches purses trying to beat the puss. Meet her in the club and wanna eat the puss. Get the hoe pregnant, then gon' keep the puss. Trick and kill pimp. Trick and kill pimp. Trick and kill pimp.
I grew up in a combination of Baltimore and Texas. So I went from, living in Elgin and Round Rock, which are, just as country as they sound, in Texas to, east side of Baltimore City, Bel Air and Urban. So, I had a little bit of both. I know what it's like to milk a cow, and I also know what it's like to get chased by knock. I listen to a lot, the Holy Trinity, Pac, Jay, and Biggie. You know what I mean? A lot of Nas as well. Eminem was a big one for me. Personally, I was always a big fan of like underground rap, so I did a lot of Immortal Technique, nonfiction, Ill Bill. I was always a writer. I think the transition to music just came from me seeing the opportunity. My first time picking up a pen and actually making a song was for a contest in elementary school. I ain't had no other talents. I couldn't sing. I couldn't juggle. I have no rhythm. I couldn't dance or nothing. But I wanted those bookstore points. You know what I mean? I wanted those bookmarks. You know how it is. You get the binder and all that. So they had a contest, and that was the only thing I could think of that I could do. So I wrote a rap 2 weeks before that, practiced it, got on stage, and lost. But I never looked back from there. I wanna be successful first and foremost. Like right now we're in the process where we're trying to make space into the mainstream industry for what we're doing as an independent artist. But I want the Grammys, I want the best hip hop awards, I want the album of the year, I want the best video. I want the whole nine. I definitely want to make an impact and push myself as an artist. When I think hip hop, I think African Americans. You know what I mean? Like, not to go too deep into it, but as African Americans, we don't really have a home country or anything like that looks out for us. And then the reality is, here as African Americans, the first word kind of takes away from the last. So we're not exactly Americans either. So when it comes to a cultureless people, you know what I mean? Hip hop has really kind of shaped us into who we are. Everything from how we dress to how we talk to our mind states and how we think is all reflective of the hip hop that we listen to and what's out there in the media. Yeah, that and I just don't want to be whack. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of artists like never want to admit that, but like in the back of my mind, I still have that self-consciousness of, I don't care how big I am, I don't care how many fans I have, I don't care how many people I'm in front of, I don't want to be whack. You know what I mean? I still want to be the best. If there's 50 dudes in that room, I want to make sure that what I got up here, you know what I mean, that I'm about to drop is going to be top tier. You know what I mean? Competitive with anybody. So that's what really pushes me. I want to sit in the room with Jay one day, and when Jay like, yo, throw the beat on, I don't got to sit there and be like, well, let me just let this nigga Jay get it. You know what I mean? I don't want to jump in. I'm a God-fearing man. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's the number one influence. I feel like I got a purpose. God got a plan for me, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm pretty in touch with God, and I feel like a lot of what motivates me is simply because I know I'm doing what He would have me to do. You know what I mean? I can stand by what I'm doing and how I feel about it. It's two different feelings, honestly. When I'm in the booth, it's a creative mode. You know what I mean? And it's it's definitely driven by what can we put together, different sounds, things like that. When you're on that, when you get to that stage point, though, you're at that point where you're sharing it with everybody. You've already, I've never performed a song that I wasn't releasing. You know what I mean? So it's like by the time we get to that stage point, it's like, all right, we've done the creative process. I've listened to probably 30 hours of the song. You know what I mean? I know everything that was wrong with it. We done fixed every issue that we could fix, and now we're ready to release it to the world. But when you get on that stage, that's a whole different adrenaline and high. Oh man, I listen to country, man. Country is rap. I came from Texas though. Living in like I said, Round Rock and Elgin. You can't really get away from it. There was only really one hip hop station, But no, I mean I listen to a lot of country music. One of my favorite songs is actually a country song, Neon Moon. But I do a little bit of indie rock. I like the sounds and stuff like that. You know, I like to push the sounds. I like to hear different deliveries on beats and stuff like that, different flows. You know, try and implement them into hip hop. You'd be surprised how similar a fast-paced country or rock song is to, you know, a regular MC. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been blessed. I had a couple big moments. 92Q has definitely been supporting me, which is something that, you know, nobody would ever believed. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we have so much to say about local radio and stuff like that, but you know, you take the time, you put the right work in and everything like that, you'll see doors open up. You know, I got to meet 50. That was a big thing. You know, I wouldn't say I'm a huge 50 Cent fan, but I was definitely a huge Get Rich or Die Trying fan. You know, I could really appreciate that album. It's just probably the most classic album, you know, of our generation. You know what I mean? Like that is the Reasonable Doubt for our generation. Honestly, I mean that thing was classic. So I mean, I got to meet Fifth and really talk to him. You know, that was probably one of those most surreal moments for me. You know, and then you know, last year when we dropped on that Piff, we did 19,000. You know, and that was one of those other experiences, because I remember, again, you know, going back, being on Facebook and MySpace promotion days when I was just trying to get 190. You know what I mean? 190 people to listen to it. You know, talking about if I can get 500, I'll be excited. Now, you know, we at a point where 500, that's a bad day. We take that for granted, you know, because we trying to get bigger and expand. So, I mean, you know, to look at our situation and say our goal is realistically 30,000 downloads as an independent artist in Baltimore, you know, and we can justify and say, yo, we did 19 last year. You know, that's one of them moments right there, man.